Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube, Ren here. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today. It's a little bit early, a couple days early, but I wanted to do this intentionally a couple days early. I am making a tea blend for Mabon. Mabon, of course, being the autumnal equinox, which is in just a couple days here in the Northern Hemisphere. And some folks in Blue Star, which is my tradition, there was a discussion a little while ago about tea. We got really excited about it, and one of the things that was mentioned was the idea of making teas for the sabbats, and I immediately, of course, went, yes, definitely something I want to do. So this is my first sabbat tea that I'm making, which is, of course, for Mabon, because that's the sabbat that we're having right now. So I wanted to just share this, give you the quick recipe, of course. I'm making this tea now. I'm going to be distributing it to my grove mates today. And that way we can all be drinking this tea on Mabon itself. And that's mainly the reason why I wanted to do this a couple days early, so that if you wanted to make it yourself and have it in time for Mabon, you would have time to prepare and gather together some of the ingredients. So let's start, okay? So first of all, I just want to let you know, for my parts, I am using a 1/4 cup measure because I want to make a lot of tea, but I'm giving you the recipe in parts. A part is just whatever your measuring implement may be, okay? So if you use tablespoons, teaspoons, 1/4 teaspoon, whatever you choose to do, 1 part is 1 measuring implement's worth, okay? Just like I've done with a lot of my other recipes. I've also, some of these ingredients I have kind of pre-prepared them because they need a little bit of extra work in the mortar and pestle, and I didn't want you to spend 20 minutes just watching me grind cinnamon, so that's what we did. So first this is ginger, dried ginger root. This is ginger root that I actually grew in my garden myself and then dried in the oven. You just cut the root into thin slices and dry it at a low temperature in the oven. You can do the same thing if you just buy grocery store ginger, just slice it into thin slices and dry it in the oven at about 225 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees centigrade, just high enough so that the water will turn into water vapor and evaporate out without huge risk of burning it. And really just until it's dry. So, and the reason I do this from the whole root is because most of the time when you buy ginger in a grocery store, it's either going to be ground into a powder already, or it's going to be like crystallized, which neither of those is really fitting. I want the dried ginger root in fairly substantial pieces like this. So that's what I've got. Dried ginger root, 1 part, which is my 1/4 cup measure. I've already measured this, which is why I can kind of loosely dump it into my bowl here. 1 part of cinnamon. This is actually not the Sallia cinnamon. This is cassia cinnamon. I'm just kind of using up the last of my cassia cinnamon stores in this. Cassia cinnamon is okay for this. Cassia cinnamon is just the generic, what most people know of as cinnamon. It's not fancy cinnamon. Has a little more heat, a little more bite, but in this particular instance, it's okay. And again, this was the whole cinnamon sticks that I then crushed up into an appropriate size. Ideally, I want all my pieces to be kind of roughly uniform in size, just so that when you mix them, you can get kind of a roughly uniform mix, and you don't have like 1 cup that has a huge chunk of cinnamon and another cup that has none. So 1 part ginger, 1 part cinnamon, 2 parts rose hips. Rose hips, of course, being the fruit of the rose plant. And again, these are my rose hips that I bought online. And they're already pretty small, crushed up a little bit there. Might give it a little extra helping hand with my hands, but that's okay. All right, the next part, and you'll notice I have my recipe written down because I don't remember these things. Always write your recipes down. Next part is 2 parts apple peel. This is actually, this is apple peel that I gathered myself. Literally just, I bought apples from the store, Pink Ladies specifically, although the type of apple really doesn't matter. I got Pink Ladies because they're my favorite baking apples. And I turned my Pink Ladies into apple crisp, but in the process of baking, of course, I had to peel them, save the peel, and dried it in the same way in the low temperature oven that I did my ginger. borrow this for any spillage. So again, we're going to do 2 parts of apple peel, and this is packed in there pretty tightly actually. So that's 1. And 2. And then my last one, of course, is tea. Black tea specifically. This is a China black that I bought in bulk online. And I'm going to do 4 parts of black tea. And yes, I know I'm going to go through a lot of this jar, and that's okay because I have more to fill this with. I bought a pound of tea, so I'm making a lot of this one, not only because I'm giving it away, because I know it's delicious and I'm going to want to drink it a lot for this upcoming fall. So now that I've got all my ingredients here, I'm just going to start mixing it with my hands. Just getting a nice homogeneous mixture, which smells divine. Here we go. Again, as always, I wish I could share smells over the internet, but I don't know, hopefully you can see my tea there. Isn't that pretty? So, let's talk about some of the magic behind this tea. So, ginger. Ginger is a good herb for success, prosperity, also tends to kind of enliven things. Cinnamon has similar connotations to the ginger, but added a little bit of protection in there as well, and also tends to kind of raise the energetic vibrations in the air. Rose hips are really, really big for prosperity. I mean, the rose hip is basically symbolic of the fertile womb. It is the fertile womb of the rose plant, which is a super magical plant. So a lot of prosperity involved in that, and also sometimes used in healing magic as well. Apple peel, of course, apple peel is, apple is generally traditionally known as a love herb. But this is more than just like love between 2 people, but also just like a community love for your fellow man. And then of course the tea itself is very energizing energy to it, and tends to bring a little bit of luck because of a lot of the symbolism behind the tea. So basically this whole tea, the whole concept behind it, is just bringing love, fortune, and goodwill to the community, because really that's what Mabon is about for me. Just kind of celebrating that abundance that we already have, and putting it out there as a hope for abundance in the coming year. So in celebration with community. So anyway, that's my Mabon tea. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope that you all get a chance to make it and drink it yourself on this lovely Sabbath that we have coming up. And as always, I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.